motivation.
The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will. What if we can prove to you that humans want to be driven versus need to be driven? What if we can prove to you that wants are more important than needs? Here, we will test that through the 3 drive need-based theories of motivation. Wants: are humans driven to be motivated because they want to perform well? Needs: are humans driven to be motivated because they need to perform well? Humans are driven to be motivated not because they must perform well, but because they want to perform well. Our theory is this: the most basic needs exist only because of the existence of our most basic wants. This makes it immediately clear that all needs come from wants, which means that needs are not more basic than wants. Rather, the opposite is true. Wants are more basic than needs.
We know these 3 theories as driven need-based theories, but really they're just want-based theories. Now, to prove this, let's first look at the 3 drives needs theories of motivation, starting with Maslow's hierarchy needs theory. Maslow's framework is essentially a pyramid of needs, with the lowest need serving as the foundation and the next highest need serving as the goal, even if it's not attained, with the highest goal being self-actualization. So, what's the problem with this framework? Though Maslow brings a holistic, positive approach to the study of human motivation, most people don't fit into this single needs hierarchy because people are driven by their wants. People only fit into this hierarchy if they want to. Wants drive humans, not needs. Now on to learned needs theory. When humans have wants but don't know exactly what is needed to satisfy those wants, then they can be learned and influenced by their environment. Psychologist David McClelland investigated the idea that need strength can be altered through social influences. Specifically, he learned that a person's needs can be strengthened through reinforcement, learning, and social conditions, and McClelland examined 3 learned needs: achievement, power, and affiliation. However, as we'll explain later, those needs are strengthened by what humans want. To start, the need for achievement tells us that people want to accomplish reasonably challenging goals through their own effort. So what do we mean by effort? Effort is an earnest and strenuous attempt. Therefore, people want to achieve this goal. For example, in business school, some people who want achievement find it difficult to work in groups or teams, even though the business school environment is team-oriented. These people need to work in teams because they want to achieve success in the business school. Need for affiliation involves a desire to seek approval from others. Let's first define desire. Desire is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. Under this theory, people want approval from others and want to project a favorable image of themselves. With regards to need for power, people with a high need for power want to exercise control over others. Finally, we have the 4 drive theory. This is a motivation theory based on a human's innate drive to acquire, bond, learn, and defend that incorporates both emotion and rationality. However, it can be argued that this drive is really nothing more than wanting to acquire, bond, learn, and defend, which is influenced by how we think and how we feel. So what we really want is influenced about how we feel and think in our own environment.
Up until this point, we have been discussing about how and why wants, not needs, drive motivation. Our discussion of organizational justice furthers this point. Organizational justice is split up into 2 branches: distributive justice and procedural justice. Distributive justice is how we perceive fairness as it relates to our contributions and the contributions of others. Essentially what this means is that distributive justice is the concept of how we view a certain outcome has been distributed based on who we perceive ourselves as participating or how we perceive others to have participated. Procedural justice refers to the procedures used to decide the distribution of resources. In other words, procedural justice is a system within which distributive justice plays. So, how does this prove our thesis? Our thesis is best proved by equity theory. Equity theory states that we want a system in place which is determined by the amount of effort each person puts in, so that each person's respective amount of effort is determinative of the outcome. The 2 other theories underneath organizational justice are equality principle and needs principle. The equality principle is where people ought to deserve the same output regardless of their input based on their need. So if person 1 needs X, but their input doesn't warrant X, under the equality principle, they ought to get X because that is what they need. The reason why the equity theory is pervasive is because we compare our outcomes and input ratios with others. We compare ourselves to others, so we only want a distributive model which has our outputs dependent upon each person's input. Inputs are driven by human desires. If we feel that there is an unjust distribution based on our comparison of others, we will be less inclined to work as hard. And as a matter of fact, Tracy has a great example of this in a law firm.
In a New York law firm, partners do not have merit-based salaries. In fact, they were all paid the same regardless of the business they brought to the firm. In this scenario, outcome variances would determine the employee motivation. Variance is the anticipated satisfaction or dissatisfaction that an individual feels towards an outcome. It ranges from negative to positive. Here, if a partner of a firm believes their values and wants are consistent with the firm's outcome, they will have a positive variance. And if those wants and values are not fulfilled, they have a negative variance. This is a rational logic of expectation. Work effort is directed towards behavior that people believe will lead to desired outcomes.
We believe goal setting is the most effective way of motivating employees because it amplifies the intensity and persistence of efforts and gives employees clearer perceptions so that their effort is channeled towards behaviors that will improve work performance. Similarly, we believe specific, relevant, timely, and credible feedback is also effective. Goals should be specific, relevant, challenging, and in order to do this, employees must be committed to the goal and want to participate in the goal. The goals can't be too challenging, but they must be able to be performed. Combining this with applications of outcome variance, distributing rewards and individualizing rewards will increase the expected value of outcomes resulting from desired performance. So if employees and companies want employees motivated, they must play into the employees' wants. And the way to do that is designing a new job or even redesigning an already existing job. That is what brings about the ultimate dependent variable, efficiency.
The challenge for organizations is to design jobs in which the work is performed efficiently, but employees are motivated and engaged. So now we must look at job designs that increase work efficiency versus job designs that increase work motivation. Job specialization is a type of job design where required work is subdivided into separate jobs assigned to different people, thereby making an employee's job more efficient. Job specialization improves work efficiency. However, doing the same task over and over can become tedious, trivial, and socially isolating. Oftentimes, in order to have an effective work environment, companies have to appeal to employees' motivation by paying higher wages, which in turn creates a desire in employees to want to work. The core job characteristics model, on the other hand, focuses more so on identifying 5 core job characteristics: skill variety, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and job feedback, which help to better motivate and satisfy employees. Yet, with both types of job design, the end goal is to have an effective worker or employee. Nevertheless, there are 3 strategies to improve employee motivation through job design. They are job rotation, job enlargement, and job enrichment. Job rotation allows employees to move to different workstations every few hours. The benefit of this is minimizing health risks, supports multi-skilling, and potentially reduces the boredom of highly competitive jobs. However, there is a debate as to whether job rotation is really a form of job redesign because the jobs remain the same. They are still highly specialized. Job enlargement, on the other hand, adds tasks to an existing job. Job enlargement significantly improves work efficiency and flexibility if combined with more autonomy.
For example, at the Metropolitan Transit Authority, New York's transit system, when managers left the job, their work was distributed amongst other managers. These managers were exposed to new contracts, tort claims, procurement, etc. They were excited about this new responsibility because while they were not getting pay raises, they desired new roles within the roles they had already mastered. Job enrichment occurs when employees are given more responsibility for scheduling, coordinating, and planning their own work. Generally, people in enriched jobs experience higher job satisfaction and work motivation, along with lower absenteeism and turnover.
Our entire thesis thus far is that wants are greater than needs. Our thesis is strengthened by employment practices and how employees are empowered. In order to be more empowered means that an individual's feelings of self-determination, meaning, and competence impact their role in the organization. So what does all of this mean? What this means is that we must empower our employees to want to be part of the organization. They must want to feel that they have ownership in it. This is where the ownership mentality comes in. Empowering your employee has proven to show a decrease in conflict, an increase in job satisfaction, and an increase in personal initiative. And why is that? It's because it changes the want of the employee. The employee wants to be part of it because you change his or her perception of their role in the organization. And that exactly is what empowerment is. Changing the want of the employee to match the company's corporate culture. The company empowers the employee by asserting their wants. They match these wants with corporate culture, and this formula produces Mars motivation through employee management, which produces efficiency. Now, we have made an affirmative statement that we have left open for you to challenge.